What is the toilet rat doing with his second term as president? Well, here's a couple things. The FBI, this is according to Fox News, the Fox sewer. Well, Fox News Digital, not the sewer where those little assholes sit around and propagandize. But so take this with many grains of salt as you like, since it does come from a division of the Fox sewer. But according to them, the FBI has launched criminal probes into former CIA Director John Brennan, oh Christ, and former FBI Director James Comey. Now, these investigations are over what they're accusing these two men of doing. It involves wrongdoing related to investigations about Russian interference in the 2016 election that anybody with an ounce of goddamn sense knows that Putin assisted the toilet rat in getting elected when he defeated Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. So both the CIA and the Justice Department had no immediate comment. The FBI declined to comment. Reuters, the news agency that's reporting this, did not independently verify, yada, 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 yada. Now, the criminal investigations, at least according to the sources that the Fox Digital has rounded up, the scope of the criminal investigation was unclear. Well, Reuters news agency, I can tell you exactly what it is. It's because this fucking toilet rat, he's just doing what he promised he would do. He's getting revenge on the people who tried to hold him accountable as he attempted to overthrow the government of the United States. And now he's succeeding in doing that. You know, he got stopped temporarily. The first time his treasonous shit hit the fan here in the United States, he got away with it. No penalties. Matter of fact, the Supreme Court blessed him for attempting it, stupid fuckers. But now, the second go-around, Trump is going to succeed in taking this government completely apart. Not because he's brilliant, not because he's a great dictator like Il Duce or Adolf Hitler or some fuck-up like that. No, because our democratic system was built in such a way that, there was no planning that some fucking insane, senile old bastard like Trump would eventually get the reins of power. And there was no consideration, although Franklin did make a comment about it, you know, here's your republic, keep it if you can. There was no consideration made really about the rise in this country of a massive millions of people who are so fucking uneducated and stupid and ridiculous and easily manipulated by somebody like Trump. When the framers put the Constitution together, even though they didn't live up to it themselves, not the part about we hold these truths to be self-evident, right? But people may have been less educated back then, but there was a certain amount of honor, I'm thinking, not where concerned enslavement, but or genocide against our brothers and sisters who owned this country or lived in this country before the white Europeans got here. But there was an element that the framers never considered it, and that was that deep inside so many human beings is this evil fucking node of poison and hatred and suspicion, and most of it is encased in religion. So they didn't count on that. They tried to safeguard against it to a degree, but they didn't count that it might take 250 years, but eventually a psychopath like this filthy Donald Trump would rise up out of the slime and the debris of the human species in this country and get the presidency. So here we are. Here we are. So that's why these criminal investigations are ongoing and endless. This fucking werewolf, Kash Patel, who heads the FBI, is going to conduct part of the investigation on his own. And he is a werewolf. Take a look at him. I mean, I'm just saying what he looks like. I didn't create Kash Patel to look like a werewolf, did I? I didn't create Tom Homan to look like Ernst Röhm, did I? That's just what these people look like. They just do. But anyway, the scope of the investigations are unclear. The Trump-nominated CIA Director John Ratcliffe referred Brennan, who served, as you know, under Barack Obama, for potential prosecution. Prosecution. So now we have a CIA director, this John Ratcliffe, who is a fascist little prick himself. Trump has done exactly the right thing where it concerns the destruction of this democratic republic. He has put into positions of power, with the help of fucking slime like Mitch McConnell and the Christian devils in the House and the Senate. He's put into positions of power people who are just as corrupt and filthy as he is. 350 million of us, I don't know what the fuck we were doing, but we weren't paying attention, were we? We just weren't paying attention. And what really gets me, all this could have been avoided if the 7 million people who voted in 2020 just would have got off their fucking asses and voted in 2024. But of course that didn't happen, did it? So now that the toilet rat has ironclad power, and there's nothing left. Look, you and I might as well face this. There's nothing left in the structure of this democratic republic that can stop him at this point. There's a slim hope that the 2026 elections will throw the power of the legislative branch back to people who are less insane than these Christian fuckwads who run it now, but that's not even any kind of a guarantee either. So we're facing something here, might as well admit it. We're facing something here that the people of Germany faced in the 1930s. Italians faced it in the 20s. The Spanish faced it in the 30s. Every time fascism comes slithering out of its nest and decides to attack a democracy, it's up to the people to stop it. And if the people don't stop it, then the fascist snake just takes over. Now, there's still one way left to stop this, but I don't think we're going to do that. I don't think the American public has the courage, the determination, pick a word, the dedication to democracy and freedom to take the step that is becoming more and more obviously necessary. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there will be a tipping point. I've been, waiting to see if that tipping point would arrive. I've seen these demonstrations, the hands-off demonstration, the No Kings demonstration, and what happened after those demonstrations? Nothing. Abso-fucking-lutely nothing. Not a thing. So, anyway, a criminal investigation, of course, doesn't necessarily result in charges, especially when they've done nothing. The Reuters news agency got in touch with Brennan, former what was Brennan? He was the former CIA director. Reuters got in touch with him, asked for a comment, and he didn't have any. I think he probably said, "Get the fuck out of here! What are you talking about?" And James Comey is gone somewhere. He couldn't be reached for a possible comment. But I doubt if Comey or Brennan are going to say a word. Anyway, this Fox organization, and again, since it's Fox, you have to consider it might be all bullshit because that's what the toilet or the sewer that produces all these people, it's what it's comprised of, bullshit. So Fox said its sources were inside Pam Bondi, the Florida bitch's Justice Department, but Fox didn't specify the number of sources. Now, the little bitch, Carolyn Leavitt, who is Trump's little bitch, stands out there and lies and pukes on her Christianity. I noticed she stopped wearing her little cross, so it's so visible. Somebody must have told her, "Listen, you're giving a bad name to Christians." Anyway, that little bitch said, quote, "I am glad to see that the Department of Justice is opening up this investigation." I'll bet you are, you little asshole. She was on one of the Fox sewer television programs. And she said that in an interview. I'm glad to see the Department of Justice is opening up this investigation. God damn these people. I mean, really. Now, these investigations, they are targeting two former officials who have really pissed off Trump because what they tried to do is enforce the law. Now, you know, I realize that James Comey is not my favorite human being either because of the shit that he pulled on Hillary Clinton, a week or two before the election in 2016? Oh, you rat fucker. Well, anyway, Comey, now you are going to get the lash of the fascist right that you helped James usher into power. Yes, you did. Well, anyway. As far as Brennan is concerned, CIA director, you know, I have an awful lot of suspicion where it concerns the CIA. But I consider Brennan to be as honorable as a person can be who would wind up heading the Central Intelligence Agency, which is known for its ability to assassinate, disappear, corrupt, upend, overturn. You know, CIA has that reputation. But as far as Brennan, well, who knows? He, like I say, he seems to me to be a decent human being, but maybe this probe by the werewolf Kash Patel will show us that John Brennan is really a child-molesting white slaver. What do you think? What do you think? Now, it was James Comey, of course, who led the FBI when authorities in that organization began a criminal investigation into the fact, and it is a fact, that the toilet rat and his Russian handler, Vladimir Putin, managed to influence the election in 2016. In 2017, the toilet rat fired Comey, of course, because at the time, the FBI was an independent organization, more or less, that didn't respond to the chief executive. That in that case, it would be Donald Trump. And Trump doesn't like that. You know, it's my FBI, you know. So, and once Trump got the election, after help from the Russians to defeat Hillary Clinton, Trump didn't want Comey around because Comey, you know, I don't know why Comey has never put it all out there for people to see. There are people in the so-called deep state who have been there, who were there in 2016, who were there in 2020, and who've been here in 2024 in these three presidential elections, who know fucking well the extent to which either primarily Russian and to a lesser extent Chinese interference in our election did occur, abso-fucking-lutely. Anybody who tells you that they didn't occur is either working for the Russians or the Chinese or a red hat wearing asshole, and a third choice would just be somebody so fucking ignorant they can't see the forest for the trees. Anyway, after Comey was fired, during what Trump refers to the Russia investigation, that's when Special Counsel Robert Mueller took over. And he decided that there was no evidence of a criminal conspiracy between the Toilet Rats campaign and Russia. There was much more to what Robert Mueller discovered, but you and I have never seen it and probably never will. I mean, it's made public, a public document, but, you know, we don't read shit like that. It makes our eyes bleed, and who cares anyway? They're just a bunch of politicians, right? So anyway, the toilet rat was just out of his goddamn crawl space against the Russia investigation for years. And, of course, he continues, because he is senile and he's an ignorant savage, he continues to refer to it as the Russia hoax. Which Putin loves. Putin loves to hear his little acolytes saying Russia hoax. Yeah, Putin loves it. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.